Hi, bestie. You're right there. So I'm here today to talk to you. This is kind of like podcast free, and I don't think this is what the podcasts, when they do become a thing, I don't think that this is what they're going to be like whatsoever. I think they'll be like actually properly structured and actually properly researched, and potentially another person as well. But right now, I kind of want to test these out with you and see if I can sort of talk nonstop and talk to you about something and keep you entertained. So I hope you're enjoying these. Please let me know in the comments. I know this is Patreon only, and I know that like not all of them get watched all the way through. I mean, to be honest, I don't know all of the analytics on these videos because it's not as sort of intense as YouTube is. I just know if someone's watched it, and I don't know how long you necessarily have to watch it to sort of get a view on it, but whatever. I'd like to know if you're enjoying these. Like, should I release them on Don't Trust Ira a little bit later, or what do you reckon? What do you think? So yeah, today we are watching me packing Patreon. I kind of got down to a fine art, so this video or this podcast is going to be like 37 minutes long, something like that, because I kind of got it down to a fine art. And this is the Houseplants collection. I was originally going to call it the Homebody collection, but yeah, I really like this one. Obviously I've had a really rough time recently. It's been really tough, and I've struggled. I genuinely have struggled. And I still struggle to this day, but it gets better and better every day, obviously. But I kind of wanted to add a little bit of fun. So you can see me right now putting like a little bubble wand into everybody's package. So it's a little bit of fun. I know it's only like a little bit extra and whatever. And I hope they don't like crack or anything in the mail, but they seem pretty robust. But yeah, I just really like this. And also the freebies going forward for a little bit are the bank card stickers that were in the Merry Snapmas Advent. I had a lot of spare, so we've got some freebies, and I put the freebie sticker on the back of it because it's not tear off like the other ones. It would leave some residue, so I put it on the other side so that you can just throw it away. But anyway, yeah, that's what we're doing. And yeah, what do I want to talk to you about today? I think the thing that I kind of want to talk to you about, just because it's really on my mind at the moment, is my fitness journey and the 10K that I've got coming up. So don't worry, this is not going to be me trying to get you to donate or anything like that. I just sort of want to talk to you about what my fitness journey has been like so far, and how I've got to where I am now, and just to sort of celebrate myself, because I don't really feel like I take the time to do that. So yeah, I just wanted to sort of talk about that. And if you were in a place where you're not quite as fit as you want to be, maybe it'll inspire you to maybe get there, whatever method that works out for you. So yeah, I guess I wanted to do that. So I joined a gym for the first time in my life at the age of 39 in November last year. I think I just got fed up of feeling unhealthy and not really taking much pride in myself. I guess, when I looked in the mirror, I didn't really recognize who I saw. And I don't think that really had much to do with my weight. Like, I don't know, I think it might be part of being a man, or it might be part of being a little bit delusional, but I quite like how I look with a bit of weight on. So losing the weight wasn't really ever a massive goal for me. However, I quite like that it has happened. So I joined the gym, and I joined and went with my nephew. So it was quite a long drive out, but I went to this gym because it was the cheapest one, and I didn't want to be in a sort of subscription for it. What is that the word? Like a reoccurring spend for something. And it was the only one that did rolling monthly, so I could cancel it at any time. And it was quite cheap, but it was a lot to drive there all the time. And I'd go with my nephew all the time. And it was really good. I did a lot of like the machines. So I did like lifting, like I'd have a leg day, a back day, and an arm day. And I did enjoy it, but I wasn't really challenged by it. I remember like getting out of the gym and feeling really pleased with what I've done, but also really understanding how desperately unfit I was. And that's because up until then, I'd never set foot in a gym in my life. The last sort of real proper form of physical exercise that I had done prior to that would have been at secondary school during a PE lesson. So, like being out in nature, running, or anything like that, I genuinely hadn't done in, I don't know, 20 years? No, 15 years, something like that. Probably 20, to be fair, actually. Yeah, if I left school when I was 16 and I'm 30, yeah, like 20 something years. So I've never been a fit person, but I started going. And then I thought, I want to achieve something, and I want to do something that is for me, but also for other people as well. So I just decided to start doing the Couch to 5K. So the Couch to 5K is an app. You can get it anywhere in the world, but it is made by NHS, or at least it's supported by the NHS. And basically what the app is it's like a running companion. So you can pick a British celebrity to talk you through it. And what it's designed to do is to get you running almost to a 5K within like 9 weeks, which sounds like a lot. And when you think about me as a person that had probably never really truly run anything meaningful in their entire life, it was very daunting to me. Like the first weeks were like a 5-minute walk, and then you do something like 90 seconds of a run. And I remember how slow my run was. And I remember the first time I completed a workout, which was probably about 15 minutes. And all in all, it was probably about 6 minutes of running within that. It was a lot of walking, the first one. I got off the treadmill and I was really dizzy. I was like, oh no. But I really wanted to persevere with it. As you go through the weeks, it asks you to run longer and longer amounts of time, and it's time based. So the goal of Couch to 5K is to get you running 30 minutes non-stop. So obviously, if you run relatively fast, 30 minutes non-stop will get you to 5K. But for me, at the time when I finished the Couch to 5K, bearing in mind I was very, very uncomfortable like some weeks, and I found some weeks very, very difficult. So I did a lot of weeks twice, and I felt like that was good for me. But with hindsight, I wish I just powered through. When I got to the end of it, I could run 30 minutes non-stop, but that wasn't 5K. So when I was doing park runs, which we'll get to later, I wasn't quite ready for a 5K. So just for sort of context, my natural sort of running speed, if you are looking at a treadmill, is about a 9.5. I think a lot of men my age would normally go for a 10, but I can do it. I just can't do it for a long period of time. So yeah, I mean, like the Couch to 5K was brilliant. I did have a big sort of stumbling block with it. And that was when it first asks you, and it feels out of the blue, but it really does ramp up towards it, asking you to do 20 minutes non-stop. Bearing in mind the week before, it asked you to run 10 minutes non-stop, walk for 3 minutes, then 10 minutes non-stop after that. Like, it just cuts out the middleman. Like, you can do it, but it's a mental game a lot of the time. So I think I struggle a lot of the time with like self-belief, and I know a lot of you can relate to that, because I know it's like weird, because sometimes like I'll talk about myself, I'm like, yeah, of course I can do that, of course. Sometimes I have an implacable belief in myself, and sometimes I just don't. So a lot of the time you're running, you've got a lot of time to yourself, and you tell yourself you can't do it, and then you give up. So I gave up on a lot of runs, but I made sure that I showed up every single week. I've never missed a run, and I made sure that I did it. So when I finished the Couch to 5K, or should I say, during Couch to 5K, when it was getting to the points where it wanted me to run 20 minutes non-stop, I started doing this thing called Park Run. So if you're in the UK, this is a fantastic thing. And if you're not in the UK, what it is, it's headed by a charity called Vitality. And it's a free run. You sign up, you get your own barcode and stuff like that. And everywhere around the country, 9 o'clock, and I think they have it in Australia as well, 9 o'clock every Saturday, in towns all across the UK and Australia, I believe, everybody runs at the same time. They have these people called park run tourists, and they do a different park run every Saturday in different places, which is really cool. But I keep on going back to the same one because I quite like the course, and it's every Saturday at 9 a.m. It's in a town near me, and it's around a park, and then it goes onto a tarmac section where we go around this pond that has geese and swans, and it's really, really pretty. At the moment it's spring, so the geese have just had goslings and they're running around and they're really, really cute, but the geese were a bit territorial for a little bit while the eggs were hatching. But yeah, it's really, really cute. And when I was doing Park Run, if it was asking me to do 20 minutes, I'd still do the 20 minutes and see what I could do. But for the first couple times I did a Park Run, I couldn't finish it. It was too difficult. But now I'm finishing I'm finishing all my park runs now because 5K is not that difficult anymore. Don't get me wrong, it is difficult. I don't think it will ever be easy. Like, I watch sometimes, right? I'm running around and I'll find someone. I tend to find the people that look really experienced just because they're good at keeping a good pace. And what I struggle with is running too fast, getting too tired, and having to really slow down and all of that stuff. But if you find people that have a good pace, and what I find is I usually find these two women, they just jog round and they are chatting to each other the whole way, like it's not even bothering them, and I'm like really struggling. But I like them for pace because they have a good pace. But when they're not there, I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do? But yeah, I really, really enjoy them because they're sort of done. My 5K time's like 32 minutes, which is it's all right. I mean, you get like stats at the end of it, and they tell you how fast you were, where you sort of ranked in the whole field, because there's usually like between 300 and 500 people that do it every Saturday at my park run. And and they tell you where you sort of are within your age and sex class, and I'm like fifth best in my age and sex class. But when I turn 40, I will be number 2, which I will be excited about. But yeah, I really, really enjoy that part of it. So a lot of the stuff I do is on a treadmill just because it's controlled, and I just don't want to get sunburnt. Like is honestly what it is. Like being out in the sun for that long, if it's not early in the morning, is difficult. But yeah, so I do a lot in the treadmill, but the guy at the gym did have a go at me the other day because I do too much on the treadmill. He says, like, when you're actually doing the park run, there's going to be uphills and downhills. And I'm like, I know, I just want to work on my stamina. But last week, for the first time in my life, I did a 10K on the treadmill. So I had been really genuinely keep me up at night anxious about, am I ever going to be able to do this 10K? And it really worried me. So we've raised like £500 or £600. A lot of people, a lot of you lot have been so generous, and some people have donated like hundreds, like 100 and something pounds. And I would be devastated if I let you down with this, and I feel like I'd let me down, like if I wasn't able to do it. And I was really, really pushing myself, really worried about, am I gonna ever be able to do this 10K? Because when I do a 5K, I go round relatively slow, but I sprint at the end of it. So because I sprint at the end of it, like the last bit, just to take over a couple people, because I'm always really competitive, I put everything into it. So I finished a 5K feeling like I gave it my all and I couldn't do anything else. So I'm out of breath and I'm like, how am I ever going to do a 10K? Like, that's what I'd say to myself every single time I do a 5K. Like, how am I ever going to do a 10K if I can't, if a 5K is this difficult? So what the original plan to do was to, in the week, try and do some 7s, some 8s, some things like that. Just try and do as long as I could. And I just couldn't get past the 5K period. And I was kind of setting myself up to fail. I was trying to run too fast because in my head, I'm like, running is difficult. So I want to sort of do it for the shortest amount of time possible. So I was trying to run fast, but obviously that's a lot more tiring. You have to use a lot more of your body. You swing your arms more, you swing your legs more. So because of that, you are going to tire yourself out like a lot quicker. So I was doing that and I was really giving myself a negative viewpoint of running. I'm never going to be able to do it. It's too hard, and stuff like that. But I spoke to Kyla and Kyla said, well, let's try this. So I ran, bearing in mind, like my natural sort of running pace for probably a 5K is probably like 9, if we're talking treadmill, it's like 9.3, 9.4, 9.5 probably. If I ran at an 8.5, can I do it? And I bloody did it. And I wasn't that out of breath. And that was probably one of the proudest days ever. And I have now got so much confidence going into this 10K because I've done it once, so I know I can do it. And I know that on the day, there's going to be like a lot of hype, people watching. You're going to get buoyed along by it. So you're going to want to do it and it's not going to feel as difficult on the day. But at least I know if I go slow, it's fine. And I don't actually mind now the fact that, like, because the 10K that I did last week, I've got another one coming up this week, but the 10K I did last week was 71 minutes. So I ran non-stop for 71 minutes. And if you would have asked me back in November, bear in mind, that's what, November the 11th, I went to the gym. That was my first workout ever. So it's the 6th when I'm recording this of May. So December, January, February, March, April, May. So 6 months ago, if you would have asked me 6 months ago, will you run non-stop 71 minutes? I would have laughed in your face. And I don't know. And this is the genuine story of the 10K was I spoke to Kyla. I was like, I want to achieve a 5K in my lifetime. I really, really want to do that. Will you do a 5K with me in June? And she said, no, let's do a 10K. By then, you'll be able to do a 10K. And I was like, do you reckon? All right, fine. And I didn't really think about it. So I kind of got talked into it, but she was right about the 5K. I do 3 at least a week. So 5K is not that, it's difficult, but it's so doable. Do you know what I mean? 10K is a challenge. I think I'm going to get maybe 3 or 4 more 10Ks in before the actual 10K, which will probably bolster my confidence as well. But yeah, so the 10K is happening in Salisbury, which is a town near me. It's like a medieval cathedral city. I know it's around this park that has hills in it twice. I know it's going to be okay. I know that I'm going to do it with Kyla and my brother, and it's going to be okay, and I will get it done. And I've even said, look, if I have to walk part of it, I have to walk part of it. As long as I get it done, I'll be pleased. I think at this point, I would be a bit disappointed if I needed to walk any section of it. But if it's more hilly than I was expecting, then, it'll be what it is. I also, yesterday, I bought a pink running shirt. It's really, really hot pink because I thought I'll cancel one. It's a extra large because normally I'd wear 2XL, and I think an extra large will actually fit me better because I'm finding now that my t-shirts They are big and they cover me and all of that, but they are too big for me, obviously, now. But because they moisture wick, they get really heavy. So they actually become so much heavier and it makes it harder to run with. So yeah, I hope that's going to be okay. So when it arrives, I'll try it on. If it's a bit too tight, I'll just leave it until the actual day. I don't mind. I can cover up my man boobs with, the number that they put on us. But it's going to be cool. I'm going to get a medal. I'm going to raise loads of money for charity, and I'm really, really excited about it. Before that, though, I do have a 10K walk. I'm doing that with my nephew. It's for WWF, which is the World Wildlife Fund or Federation. So it's about world wildlife essentially, but I think this one's about preserving UK forestry and stuff like that. But I haven't raised anything for it yet, but I have donated myself, and yeah, I'll just go and do it. And that'll be fun. It's around the forest. It's a 10K walk. It's like about a week before the actual 10K. So I think that would be really, really nice. But I want to sort of plan lots of, after this 10K, I do want to plan more active things to do. I want to do Tough Mudder, but that's a 15K. It's not like a straight run. There's like assault courses and stuff like that. I do want to do stuff like that. I think that would be the next goal. And I see how I feel after this 10K. It might make me feel incredible, and I might want to do like a half marathon or something like that. So I don't know. I can't imagine running for 2 hours straight. However, 6 months ago, an hour straight, I would have passed out. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think my running journey has ended, but certainly what I want to do is run less after this 10K is done. I still want to do a park run every Saturday. I think it's really, really important for my cardiovascular health. And I don't ever want to lose that. I don't ever want to lose the fact that I can do a 5K. So I think doing that every single week will be wonderful for me. Probably maybe 2 runs a week. And then I want to start working on like strength training and going back to lifting weights, because once I decided I was going to do this 10K, every time I go to the gym, it is pure cardio now. That's all I do and nothing else. And on days where I rest, I either do a walk. So I walk to the next town over and back, which usually takes about 2 hours. It's like a 9K, but it takes 2 hours because I'll just like walk to the other Tesco's, the big Tesco's, and buy like yogurts and put them in my bag. Do you know what I mean? I'll buy something ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? Or what I'll do is like what do they call it? At my gym, they gave me a workout plan for like rest days, recovery day. So it's just like stretches and 10 minutes on a standing bike, they call it, I think. And I don't like doing it. So I'd rather just walk for 2 hours. I know it's probably not good for me, but it's fine. I struggle with rest days, but I just want to run every day. I just want to be as prepared as possible. But like you recover at rest, you build muscle at rest and stuff like that. So I can't wait till I kind of calm the running down and work a bit more on my strength, because I know that as I've ran, I have lost weight and I have lost muscle. I know that I'm not as strong as I used to be because I've lost muscle, because everything's in my legs now, which I don't mind. I think my legs look great, but like I know that I've lost a lot of muscle. I'm not nearly as strong as I used to be, and I do want to have bigger arms like I used to and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the sort of plan. But I guess what the whole point of what I'm talking about is that my whole life I have been too scared to go to a gym, because what will people think? Not even say. What will people think when they see someone like me working out? The last thing I'd ever want is for someone to pity me or feel sorry for me. And also, I don't know how to use every piece of equipment. So like, I just didn't want to feel embarrassed, but it kind of goes very, very quickly, because when you go to a gym, honestly, the amount of times I'd go to the gym, because I'd go really late at night. I'd go late at night because I didn't want to be seen. And I was really reluctant to tell you lot that I was going to the gym because I didn't want the conversation to be around you've lost weight or what's your goal and stuff like that, because I've always liked my body in a way, but I didn't really want to lose weight, but I like that it's happening now. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't want to have discourse about that. But most of the time when I went to the gym, it's really late at night. And that's when the fatties go to the gym. So 9 times out of 10, I wasn't the fattest person in the gym. And considering probably 9 times out of 10, I have been the fattest person in the room, like the fattest person in my friend group, the fattest person at work, fattest person, I've always been the biggest person in the room. And it was quite nice and refreshing to see I definitely wasn't. And it was nice to see when people that were bigger than me come into the gym, I wasn't judging them. I wasn't thinking anything, but I saw how nervous they were. And I was just like, just fucking work out next to them and just smile or whatever. So even if you are a big person, or even if you are nervous or have trepidation about working out, whether that's in public or at the gym, no one cares. Everybody's at the gym because they want to improve themselves. And no one's there to be bad people. Do you know what I mean? No one's there to pay any attention to you. It's kind of narcissistic in a way, because you want to improve your health, you want to improve your body. You ain't got time to worry about what other people are thinking about you or what you're thinking about. You don't think about other people. Like, it's just not a big deal at all. So yeah, like that went very, very quickly. And now I used to feel like a big knot in my stomach about going to the gym, just because I was like, what if I pass out? What if I go into a cardiac arrest or something ridiculous like that? Because I had some points where it did get very, very dizzy. And I think that was my lungs didn't know how to put oxygen into my blood. It is what it was. I used to really struggle with lactic acid, and I barely feel that anymore. I just trained my legs to be able to run, I guess. And, I'm not by any means the best runner, the fastest runner, but what I've got is this sense of determination now that knows that it's only pain. Pain is temporary. I can do this. And if I can't do it for myself, I can certainly do it for other people. Do you know what I mean? So that I've just have a different mindset. And I think it's really, really helpful to me when I approach other stuff. Like, obviously you'll know that in January I had a big wobble mental health wise, and I had to take a step away from the business, from YouTube, from everything really. I do suffer with imposter syndrome a lot. I do suffer with belief in myself. When I see, I don't know, like if I have a bad week on Etsy and I don't make as much money as I normally would, I just tell the first thing that comes to my head is, well, that's it. That's the end of the ride. And I get really, really sad about it because I don't want to go back to a normal job. So when I have bad weeks, that's what happens to my brain. But going to the gym, I still didn't miss a single workout during that whole time because I knew how beneficial it was to me. And the belief I have built in myself, I mean, I'm not perfect by any means. I still think that way. But it's less regular now. But the belief I've built in myself because of, yes, I can do it. And because of that, I kind of believe in myself a lot more. It's a bizarre concept because like people that I know and people that I don't even know, I'm like, of course you could do that. Don't be ridiculous. But I think it's difficult when you're talking to yourself. I think sometimes we can be our own worst enemies. And I know that's a cliche to say, but I really do talk to myself a lot. Like if anybody ever spoke to anybody I knew the way I speak to myself, I would drop kick him in the face. That's absolutely, do you know what I mean? Sorry, I'm a bit gassy this evening. I had dinner. I've just finished the live and come back in to edit this video and just add the voiceover over the top. And I just brushed my teeth, and I had a Magnum like before that as well. I love Magnums. But yeah, what was I talking about? So yeah, so I've got the 10K coming up. I don't know what's going to happen after that, but I do know that this sort of fitness and taking care of myself journey has not ended. It's definitely going to be a lifelong thing. I'm very excited to, I guess what I'm really excited about is just having an active part of my life that I can do 3 times a week or every other day. Just do something active 3 or 4 times a week. I've got a yawn, I'm really sorry. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I just want to have an active life because I feel like, I don't know, the way I used to feel about myself and my body is that I'm very unhealthy. What's the point in even trying? Let's just eat all these donuts, or let's just eat this really bad food. Let's not go to the doctor because he's just going to tell me, or she's going to tell me awful stuff about myself. What's the point? I'm going to have a short life. But losing my mum has made me think that life is short, right? Life is short. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's wonderful. But it is the longest experience we're ever going to have. So, relatively, life is long. So why wouldn't you want to have the longest, happiest life you possibly can? And part of that, and probably one of the biggest parts of that, is taking care of yourself, like enjoying your body while you can. Stop talking to yourself poorly, stop looking at yourself poorly, and just enjoying what you have, because I don't know, I don't want to get to a age where I'm older and regret the fact that I had the capacity and possibility to lose weight, be healthier, and have fun doing it. I don't want to die young and regret not doing what I could have done, because I really am enjoying this process. I think, when I'm on my deathbed, I want to be proud of the things that I've achieved in my life. I want to be proud that we've raised £600 or £700 for Cancer Research UK. I want to be proud that, all of the health stuff I've done, I want to be able to do that, because my mum didn't. She lived a very unhealthy life. She smoked from the age of like 11 or 12 up until the age of 68. And she got really, really poorly while she was on a cruise. She had a heart attack, which she didn't die of. But once she had that heart attack, she decided to quit smoking. She did that overnight. And she decided that she was going to stop drinking energy drinks, and she was going to eat well. And she started doing Tai Chi at the gym. And like in a morbid, maudlin way, it was too little too late. So she did do a brilliant job of, she did a really good job of like turning her life around, but there was decades of damage, and I might have done a lot of damage to my body through, smoking all those cigarettes that I did, and drinking all that alcohol that I did, and eating as poorly as I did. But I've got time to turn it around. And for the sake of myself, I think I really should. And yeah, that's sort of where I'm at with health. So for me, when I talk about my health journey, that's kind of how deep it goes for me. It's not about being skinny. It's not about losing weight. It's not about that. But that still is a wonderful side effect of what I'm doing. I just want to have a long, healthy, happy life. And part of that is making sure that I do get to do this experience called life as long as possible. And, when I am old, it would be nice to be a healthy old person. Like my auntie has been active her whole life. She's in her 80s, and you wouldn't know it. She's so happy and healthy. She's wonderful, and yeah, I want to be just like her. I don't want to die really poorly like my mum did. So yeah, I think that's something to look forward to, and that's really, really how deep it goes. So, while it probably shouldn't make me as uncomfortable as it does. So when people say, "Oh, you're skinny now," or "Oh, you've lost weight," and stuff like that, it was never about that for me. And while I do appreciate the compliment, I never thought I looked bad when I was bigger. I never thought I looked too fat, and I never thought that I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like when people say, "Oh, you look really, really good. You're really skinny." It's kind of like, it feels like they're slagging off or being horrible to the fat person that I was, because I still think he's cool. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I think that's the way I feel about it. So the aesthetics is a nice plus for me, but it's not the driving reason. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like I've shared maybe too much information with you. I feel a bit vulnerable, but I think it's important for me to share that. But also, I just want you to know that if you are struggling with your health, you can change it if you want to. It's never too late. Even though I just shared that about my mum, she could have gone a lot sooner if she hadn't had turned stuff around. It's just a shame that we only got an extra year with her. But an extra year, a year is better than a month. Do you know what I mean? A year is better than her dying on a cruise ship. Do you know what I mean? So if you are in a place where you are struggling with your health, or you're not happy with your health, just starting doing something, whether that's doing more dog walks, going for walks, signing up with the gym, starting Couch to 5K, doing some park runs. There's so many ways to do it without spending money. There's so many ways to do it and enhance it with money. Getting a personal trainer, taking care of your diet, like really paying attention to yourself and looking after yourself. Even if you're not that mobile, if you're in a wheelchair, doing some different stuff, like, do you love swimming? Finding a sport or an activity that you really like doing, there's always time to do that. But don't stop now. Like, do it. Just get it done. And I believe in myself enough to know that I can do it now, and I never used to. But if I can do it, bestie, you can do it. But we're at the end of today's podcast. Let me know in the comments what you thought, and I'll see you again soon.